As we know, 17 is a K-pop group that is known for many things, most notably, their performances and self-producing image. However, we must also acknowledge that despite their outstanding performances and their involvement in the creation of their music and choreography, 17 is also one of the most popular and well-established K-pop groups that have outstanding vocalists and various skills as well. They are one of the leading K-pop groups that have helped influence the K-pop culture we know today. To give you an idea of what I mean, here are 9 trends within the K-pop industry that the K-pop group known as 17 either started or helped popularized. Fan chant guides aren't something that 17 actually started, that credit goes to the K-pop group called VIX. However, they did help popularize it and helped increase the standards. Have you ever heard the saying 17 are training their fandom to become rappers? If anyone is a fan of 17, you will know how difficult and tiring, yet thrilling, 17's fan chants are. It has become known that 17 creates difficult fan chants that they themselves failed to master, but somehow their fans always pulls through. Ever since then, we've seen a wave of other K-pop groups creating fan chant guides to help their fandom be prepared to hype up their idols during their performances. This trend isn't necessarily considered a trend, however, it is something that has become normal for idols to do, which is to provide video content of them taking their MBTI tests, in order to allow their fans to know the type of personality they have and possibly share. 17 wasn't the first group to do this, as I believe the first group to showcase doing this was GOT7. However, ever since 17 came out with a 3-part episode of them taking their MBTI tests on their popular Going 17 show, we've seen a surge of other idol groups doing the same thing. Groups such as Twice, Golden Child, The Boys, Stray Kids, ITZY, SHINee, and many more, have taken part in this. Not only is 17's light stick arguably known as the most beautiful light stick in K-pop, that incorporates their official group colors rose quartz and serenity, but it is also a light stick that is also known for its brightness and its diversity in color. Despite the Carrot Bong belonging to the Carrot fandom, 17 and Carrots have never failed to showcase how supportive and inclusive they are to other artists and fandoms. Whenever another artist is performing, the Carrot Bong changes the light to the artist's official color, in order to show support to that artist when they are performing. This trend has become something very normalized in the K-pop community, as we now see other artists incorporating built-in light switches into their light stick, and some even recommending apps that fans can connect to in order to allow them to change the light of their light sticks, to show support for other artists, especially during awards shows. Part switch has been a thing 17 has been doing ever since their debut back in 2015 when they debuted with a song called Adore You. Adore You is the song that won them many rookie awards and even got them the nickname Monster Rookie. However, despite the part switch starting during the Adore You era, the trend of switching parts with their fellow members didn't really start to pick up until their Man Say era, and didn't become an official trend until their Don't Wanna Cry era. The song that is arguably their most popular song and their most viewed music video to this day. Ever since then, multiple groups have participated in this trend, not to mention, variety shows have included this trend into their segments as well. Groups such as SHINee, B2B, Twice, G-Idol, SF9, Stray Kids, ITZY, Pentagon, ATEEZ, ONF, and many more, have participated in this trend, whether through variety shows or on their own accord through posting it on their YouTube channel. Part switch is something that not only allows the members to finally perform a certain part that they may have wished they could have performed, but it also allows the fans to see their idol shine in other areas of a song that they may not have thought would otherwise suit the member, or could have even imagined them doing. This is definitely a trend that I do not see dying anytime soon, as it seems to be most popular among fourth-generation idols. Anyways, if you are ever wondering where this trend of switching parts all began, all you need to know is the group called 17. Though 17 may not have been the ones to start this trend, however, they definitely did help normalize it. Throughout my 12 years of being a K-pop fan, I have witnessed multiple boy groups do dance covers to girl group songs. But I rarely ever saw any of them take it seriously, or at the very least, be as respectful to the dances as much as girl groups were when they covered boy group songs. A lot of the time, when boy groups would cover girl group songs, it was typically during concerts, fan signing events, or variety shows. And a lot of the time, they either would over-exaggerate the movements or dress in an over-exaggerated way for laughs, or they completely change the moves of the original dance in order to appear more manly. As stated earlier, 17 did not start this trend, and they may not have even been the ones to popularize it. But they sure did help normalize it, even garnering appreciation from the girl groups they have covered, such as Red Velvet, G-Friend, and Twice. Prior to 17, this was not considered an issue, as most of the boy groups who did cover them were typically doing it for entertainment and laughs. However, when fans started to take into consideration the amount of effort and respect girl groups had when they would cover boy group songs, it was hard for them to continue to turn a blind eye to it. And thankfully they had 17 to look to. Don't get the wrong idea, there have definitely been male idols who have danced to girl group songs respectfully. However, the list is quite small, especially when comparing it to the long list of female idols who have done boy group covers respectfully. Now, this is another trend that 17 did not start, as there have been other large groups before them, who not only successfully debuted, but succeeded in their career. Groups such as Super Junior, SNSD, and EXO existed before 17, and as we know SM Entertainment is notorious for debuting large groups. However, 17 definitely did help popularize and normalize companies debuting large groups, and those large groups being successful. Prior to 17, large groups were still exceedingly rare, and the only companies debuting them at the time were SM Entertainment or Pledis. Though 17 may not have been the ones to start this, they definitely did help popularize and normalize it, as groups such as Twice, IOI, and 101 would debut shortly after them, and we all know how successful those groups became. Nonetheless, 17 is the only K-pop group, to this day, that is known as the largest K-pop group who have lasted as long as they currently have, with all members still present and active. This one is tricky, as 17 isn't the first group known for their synchronization. Not to mention, they aren't the first group who were dubbed the Synchronizing Kings. That title originally belonged to the K-pop group Infinite. However, I will say they definitely started the trend, or at the very least popularized it. Ask any K-pop fan what the first thing they think of when they hear the name 17, and more than likely they will say synchronization. Prior to 17's debut, there weren't really any high expectations given to rookies, as no fans expected them to be performing or singing at the same level as their seniors. Because of this, they tend to get a lot of leeway and slack when they do end up messing up on their performances, with comments ranging from, "They're still rookies anyways," to "What did you expect from a rookie group?" However, with the debut of 17, everything changed. If a rookie group exceeds what the public expected of them, they typically get comments such as, "They are still rookies, but perform like seniors," or "I can't believe this is their debut stage, almost thought it was a comeback." People get shocked when they see rookie groups give off a veteran aura, and for fans, this is one of the best compliments that their idols could receive, because it shows how talented and skilled they are, if they are already being compared to senior groups who are way more experienced. This was 17. 17's debut had a huge impact on the K-pop industry, but a lot of K-pop fans don't know that, due to how quiet carrots are. Their debut changed the game for performances, to the point that other groups have a hard time covering their songs because of how difficult and complex it is. However, they still choose to use 17's performances as a way to practice and help improve their dancing skills. Have you ever wondered why there are so few K-pop fans covering 17 songs? Well, this is why. They either don't have the numbers or they lack the skills to properly execute the dances. Funny enough, the title Synchronizing Kings wasn't something promoted or pushed by 17, their company, or the fandom, as they did with the self-producing title, but something that was given to them by other fandoms and variety hosts who kept praising them for their knife-like dances. Furthermore, Boom Boom may have been the era that brought the synchronization title to life. However, it was through Don't Wanna Cry that they were able to solidify that title and make it part of their brand. Because of 17, it is more or less expected now, for groups, especially larger groups, to be able to provide that same synchronization effect, and this is despite how difficult it is, especially with large numbers. This is another trend that did not begin with 17, as anyone with common sense will know that K-pop did not start with 17 or BTS. However, this is something that 17 definitely did popularize and even normalized. Self-producing idols have been a thing since K-pop began with the first ever K-pop group, Seo Taiji and Boys. However, I will say that as K-pop began to expand, business-wise, and even globally, self-producing idols became rare, especially those who are part of a group. And to this day, 17 is the only K-pop group that are known officially as a self-producing idol group. A nickname that was given to them by the media, after it was made public that their pre-debut song Shining Diamond, and their debut song Adore You, as well as the choreographies for them, were mostly self-produced by the members themselves. This was huge, as it was not only rare for idols to be involved in the making of their music and performances, but it was even rarer for them to be involved in the making and preparations of their debut, something that could either make or break them. And with Pledis on the verge of bankruptcy, this was a risky gamble for them. As stated before, self-producing idols and groups have existed before 17, however, the amount of involvement was never to the extent that the members of 17 have, not to mention the range. 17 weren't just known as self-producing idols for their self-producing music and choreographies, but also the amount of involvement they had when it came to their promotions and even their variety show contents. Ever since then, idols, and especially their fans, never failed to make note of their idols' involvement in a certain choreography or song. 17 helped improve the image of idols, showing the public that idols can in fact produce their own music. Furthermore, they helped increase the standards of idols and idol groups who are striving to be known as all-rounders. Those who are not only good at singing, dancing, and rapping but also produce their own music and content. 17 definitely influenced the K-pop industry, whether through their music or performances or through their image. Though 17 weren't the first group to have a male idol with long hair, that title actually goes to Super Junior's Heechul. However, they did help normalize the trend, along with fellow label mate, and New East member Ren. And as we can see now that the trend has gained popularity, especially amongst fourth-generation idols such as Stray Kids Hyunjin, and Felix, only one of, Jinji, AT's Woo Young, TO1 Chan, and TXT Yeonjun.